Hey, it's me again, Boo. And this time I'm back with a favorites list. Um, Favorite time of year to wear scents is fall and winter. That's pretty much true for any fume head out there. And I'm going to do a top 10 my favorite ouds because I talk a lot about them and I have quite a few. So I wanted to talk about my favorites. I am going to do this in two parts. I'll do 10 through 6 now and then 1 through 5 later. But anyway, these are, I'm just going to get right to it. And I haven't really reviewed any of these, so I'm going to tell you what's in them and just do a little mini review with each one. So number 10 I have, and I just have it in a little decant. And I haven't decided if I'm going to full bottle this one or not because it is so similar to some other ones that I have. But this is Montale's Moon Oud. And anybody that knows Montale knows they have a bazillion and a half varieties of oud fragrances out there. Some of them are really different from one another, and some of them are really similar to one another. This is one of those that I find to be kind of similar to some of the other ones. It is really nice, though. I wrote down, just as the way I think of it, as Moon Oud by Montale is a leather oud. And I'll tell you what's in it. It says Moon Oud by Montale is an oriental woody fragrance, unisex, launched in 2011. Top notes are saffron, rose, agar wood, which is oud. Middle notes are vetiver, patchouli, and leather. Base notes are sandalwood and amber. And honestly, I don't get a whole lot of the sandalwood or amber. I get mostly leather and oud. And it's a real straightforward kind of a fragrance. It's kind of that standard salty oud mixed in with leather, a really nice kind of not a high-end lambskin kind of leather, more of a suede, but it's very nice. And that is my number 10. Number 9, and the only reason it's not higher on the list is because I don't smell a lot of oud. I know it's considered an oud fragrance, and that's why it's on this list. But it would be higher if oud was more prominent. And that's Noir de Noir by Tom Ford from his private collection. This is my favorite on so many lists. To me, it is just a creamy floral. I don't get a whole lot of oud in it. I mean, it is in the background and the dry down. So that is why it's on my list. But oud is not prominent. To me, it's more floral is prominent, and some resins and balsams and things like that. Not oud. So, it's a fun word to say, oud. Anyway, so everybody knows Noir de Noir, so I'm not going to go through the notes on that. But anyway, this is my number 9. And I kind of wrote for it, I wrote a floral oud, is kind of the way I think of this one. Number 8 is JHAG, Juliet Has a Gun, Midnight Oud. And this is another one. I'm really getting into just doing decants and things like that because I just don't have the space for a lot of full bottles, and I don't want them to go to waste, So I've really been getting into some decants. But a lot of these that are on my favorites list, if it's a decant, when I run out, I will be buying a full bottle of it. So, and like I said, this is Midnight Oud by Juliet Has a Gun. And it's the one that comes in that kind of brown, tannish brown bottle with the gold trim. All the rest of them are either black or white or silver. So in this one I put a rosy marine oud because I really kind of get, I get some florals in it, mostly rose. But then I get like sea notes, like the way it's salty, the way for me Virgin Island water is kind of a salty margarita or tropical drink kind of a mix. It's like drinking a tropical drink on the beach, because you get the sea spray and stuff. That's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of sitting in a rose bed that's right on the beach and right next to an agarwood tree. I mean, that's kind of the way Midnight Oud reminds me of. So That is my number 8. Number 7 is by one of my favorite new perfumers. Well, they're new to me. They're not new. And that's Micallef. And this one is just oud. And I have been really getting into this house. I only have one complaint about the entire house. Every fragrance that I've tried or have of theirs, longevity kind of sucks on them. But dang, when they last, the time that they last, they are incredible. So I have been getting some really good deals on Facebook and on eBay for getting some full bottles, and I just can't resist them, even though they don't last very long. And Micallef, I haven't found a single one that lasts really well or projects for a very long length of time. My only complaint, but dang, these are really well done. And so my number 7 is oud. And this is a slightly honey oud to me. There's just on the dry down, and I mean it's in the background. It's like you're standing next to an agarwood tree, and there's a honeybee's nest, maybe 20 feet away from you, and the wind is blowing your way, and you're just getting a faint whiff of the honey coming from the comb. That's kind of what this reminds me of. No, it's so good. It's so good. I love this brand. I just wish they lasted longer. And it doesn't seem to matter if it's skin or clothes. They don't last past about 4 or 5 hours for me, and they're gone. But then I just reapply because they are that good. So that's Micallef Oud for my number 7. Number 6. Thanks to the Fragrance Bros. Anyway, they did a split of Tom Ford Oud Wood, and I got in on that, and got this fabulous decant from them, and oh, wow. This one's nice. Now, you know what this one reminds me of? In all honesty, it reminds me of Pomegranate Noir by Jo Malone. It's that, got that woody kind of a note. It definitely has some oud in it, but it's got a little minty, woody kind of a note in there too. And that, it reminds me a lot of Pomegranate Noir. Now, I tell you that normally Jo Malone's fragrances are quite a bit cheaper to get than Tom Ford's, but Pomegranate Noir is one of those that's a little harder to find, which means it's a little more expensive. So you still can get it cheaper probably than Oud Wood by Tom Ford, but it won't be much. But I mean, if you have Pomegranate Noir, I wouldn't even bother with Oud Wood, or the other way around, because they smell so similar. I might just do a comparison video down the road on that. Oh, it's really nice. And for this one, I wrote a cedar oud. And I haven't been telling you what's in everything. I'm such a schmuck. Let's see, we'll go to JHAG real quick. The Midnight Oud. This one is accords of Moroccan rose, oud, amber, several sorts of musk, saffron, geranium, and patchouli oil. Then, and that was the Midnight Oud by Juliette Has a Gun. Just the straight oud by Micallef is oud, honey, well, there you go, saffron, cinnamon, nutmeg, and rose. And I don't smell a whole lot of that. I mostly get the honey and the oud, and that's about it for those. I smell no cinnamon in there at all. Now, this Oud Wood by Tom Ford, it has no cedar in it, but that's what I get. I get kind of an oudy cedar out of this, and it's got oud, sandalwood, vanilla, amber, Sichuan pepper, vetiver, Brazilian rosewood, cardamom, and tonka. So, and I don't really smell any of that. I mean, I guess I get what I'm getting is the sandalwood and what is it, the rosewood? Maybe. With the oud, I don't get a lot of vanilla. It's a very dry fragrance. but it is incredible, and it really reminds me of Pomegranate Noir by Tom Ford or Joe Malone. So anyway, that is my number 10 through number 6, and I'll be back with 5 through 1 in my next vid. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I'll talk to you in a minute. All right, peace.
See these eyes so